Welcome back to the official Beast Lab postgame. I'm here with Jay Dyer. We're going to discuss now some of your favorite characters that you have trained over the years, Jay. Give me like 2 or 3 people that really stick out to you.
Okay. All right. So I thought you were going to go things I've seen in the weight room.
Please.
Whichever you want, whichever would be more fun to listen to for sure.
So there's a couple quick ones. We had our own facility in Cockeysville. I was renting space out of a commercial gym and training the athletes there. But that was always my favorite thing, was kind of like things you see in the gym, but you really shouldn't. So there was one guy at the gym that, I'm not exaggerating, he applied chapstick after every set. I thought that was one of the most unique things I'd ever seen. And it wasn't just like he was having a chap lip day. It was like every time he was in there.
Do we have a scientific reasoning for this?
I don't know. I just thought it was like the most interesting nervous tick I'd ever seen. Finishing a set of incline dumbbells, standing up, grabbing the chapstick out of your pocket, putting it on, put the cap back on, put it back in, next set.
Wow.
Right?
Maybe it was caffeinated.
Yeah. Yeah. Characters. I mean, we used to do like if we had Spider-Man walks in our dynamic warm-up. One day I had an athlete, Tyler Feely, come in with a Spider-Man mask specifically just to wear only for that component of the dynamic warm-up.
He was all in.
Yeah. He just took it out of his pocket, threw it on, did Spider-Man walks, took it off, put it back in his pocket.
Made it fun for him.
I think, again, one of like the long-standing, it sounds like an urban legend, but it really happened. So we would run like 300s at the end of, a conditioning day or whatever. And the big thing was like, you run one as hard as you can. You're trying to get your best time. We track your best time. So the barrier for that was everybody would always hit 48 seconds. That's like the record. Okay. 48 seconds, 30-yard increment, 48-second 300. So a kid, you can tell like he's on pace to break the record. Like this has never been seen, right? We have like dozens of people with 48s, but you can tell this guy's going faster than a 48. Comes off the last turn. All the athletes that are there are just like fired up, like they're cheering him on. They could tell he's got a good time. I got a couple people over my shoulder, like confirming, looking at the stopwatch, like he's going to do it. He's going to do it. Kid comes off the last turn. He's 30 yards away, takes 2 steps, both hamstrings, full cramp. Looked like somebody picked him off, like
Call of Duty,
like a war movie, right? So it's like in slow motion, you're watching both of his legs lock up on him. He just goes down in a heap and is just like laying on the ground. And it was such like a moment of everybody was ready to like mob this kid to
oh my goodness,
somebody get him a Gatorade so we can stretch him out.
And people bring it up to this day, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, people still talk about it. So and again, I just think like there's, like I said before, everybody in this sport is like so quirky,
Yeah.
I think they're all characters, so it's like everybody's done something. Like this past summer I had my WTF Wednesday Athlete of the Week, and that was just all based on either things people said or people did,
Yep, Athlete of the Week.
Had an athlete get stuck in a glute ham, like in a Frankenhyper, like literally couldn't get out, just some of the quotes, that were said were insane. So it's like, it's constant entertainment, in between the work sets and, again, just like I said, it's like hard to pick out because there's just so many people where, I had an athlete this summer swear to me that, apples had caffeine in them. Because I might as well throw their names out there because they're both
throw their
really
names out,
yeah,
man.
they're both really good college players. Okay.
Yeah.
So Will Godine is at Georgetown, Brendan Curry at Syracuse. Basically, Brendan had told Will that he had stopped trying to drink coffee in the morning and that he was just eating apples, to kind of like, you bite into an apple, there's a little sugar, wakes you up a little bit, kind of that, makes you feel like you're awake. Will literally took it as, I don't drink coffee anymore because I've replaced it with apples, which by association means apples have caffeine in them.
So the Syracuse kid actually brought the G-Town kid down a peg or two. Incredible.
But it was just like the most amazing thing, like him telling me this, like he had learned this new thing. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way that Brendan actually said that apples have caffeine in it. I'm like, you are assuming that because he's replaced his coffee, that's what it is. It's like, no. He's like, you're going to have to ask him. I swear.
Look at the demographic that you coach. You're talking high school and college humans. The amount of unbelievable nonsense that must come out of their mouths on a daily basis is incredible.
Known to just scream across the gym like, UPenn, top 20 university on the planet. What's going on down there?
I love that.
G-Town, making all your alums proud. Here we go.
Exactly. I guess it's not that hard to get in after all.
Yeah, it's just like they know I'm like giving them a hard time, but it's just like.
Well, you got to bring some levity into the weight room because it can be a dark place sometimes. You got someone throwing up in a trash can in the corner. You got to have a laugh somewhere. Try to even it out. Now, you knew I was going to ask you this before we leave. I need a good Scotty Rogers story.
Wow. So many. So many good ones. I think the easiest way to describe universally like my Scott Rogers stories are when there's something serious that he needs to ask me, he calls me coach. All right. It's like the lead in is like if coach pops up on like the text message or when we're like talking, he goes, coach, got to ask you something. Like this means like, this is not a simple ask, right? Like we're giving you a warning. If he's just like messing around and wants to talk, he calls me OG, check this out. Like, so those are just like, that just pretty much describes every conversation that I have with Scott. It's either a serious thing, coach, we gotta like talk about this, or OG, like here we go, so yeah. And we're still like workshopping, the podcast where I interview him, but we just sit in the front seats of his car.
Yeah.
And we're not driving around anywhere. We're just sitting in the front seat of the car to kind of get that feeling from a lot of like the Instagram stories, right?
Yeah, parked on the shoulder somewhere on 95.
Yeah. Or we're just parked in the US Lacrosse parking lot,
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll just drive around the lower lot since there's never any cars there.
Yeah.
And do the interview. So, but again, like Scotty is, he's a great human, it's, and again, it's just like, there's always going to be, some little bit of amusement, you know.
Yes.
And you know, again, I think well, he'd probably be upset if I told this story, but it was actually, you know, shocking where like
Yeah,
one
it doesn't
day I was
matter if
in
he gets upset. This is fine.
one day I was not in a great mood and he was trying to like lighten me up and he just kept like poking me in the chest, you know,
Oh,
being like, come on, you know, why are you being so serious? It can't be that bad. Lighten up. And I just like looked at him and I was like, Scotty, stop touching me. Okay. Like I am not in the mood for this. Okay. And he's like, and then that like spur, he's like, come on. He's like poking me. So he pokes me one more time. He's like standing close enough where I stick my right leg out behind his legs. So I'm looking at him this way. He's kind of faced this way. I grab him by the chest, throw him on the ground, and lay on top of him. And I go, are we done? Put it out. All right.
Yeah.
And all the athletes in the room at the time were just like, what just happened there? Like, I swear, Jay just threw him down and is pinning him right now. Like, that's not
2 points.
happened. Yeah. And he was like, you know, he explains it to everybody. He's like, Coach Jay don't fight fair.
Of course not.
You know, like he's cheap. He's going to, by any means necessary. He's like, he literally stuck his leg behind me and then threw me down on the ground. He's like, I don't consider that a takedown.
I don't consider it.
Yeah.
No ref.
I'm like, yeah, you're on the ground and I'm laying on top of you. I win.
Scotty, you're still down 2 points to Jay.
That's right.
Yeah. Got to do something about that, man.
That's right.
But Jay, I'm really appreciative that you came on here, man. Hearing some of these funny stories is awesome. I need to have you just tell us, where can people find you online and on social?
So on social, it's Coach Jay Dyer on Instagram and Twitter. I've always told people, don't go to my Instagram page for a lot of workout advice. I think you need to direct message me for that. You know, as my buddy Paul always says, he's like, your Instagram account is just nothing but inside jokes. No one understands what you're putting up there.
I love it.
And I'm like, yeah, it's great. So, but you know, again, like people that find me on Instagram or whatever, or Twitter, you know, you can direct message me if you have like a real question and you're just not looking for some absurd poll on WTF Wednesday. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thanks a lot, Jay. It was always great talking to you, brother. I want to thank you for coming on and making it official here on the Official Beast Lab.
Thanks for having me. It was awesome.